Hey everyone, this is Hill Street Soul, and you're tuned in to the core with the Millennial Coach, discussing topics on real life. Check it out. Everywhere you go, don't forget the ghetto. Listen to the core.
What's up, people? I am the Millennial Coach, and we're back with another episode of The Core. Now, as you can see, can you see it? You know what I'm talking about. Got a nasty ass cold sore, and I think because I've not been well, like my body's just tired of being unwell. So I've just taken it easy by just having natural whole foods, and as I said, I'm making my juices. So I've made about 12 juices that are in the freezer. So each day before, the day before, I take out 2 juices, one red one green one, so I can have it the next day. So that cost me, so this is why I always talk about your health, right? That cost me about 12 quid. No, 18 quid, because I had some coupons, right? And if you were to think about going to the shop and buying the juice between £4 to £7, depends if you go Whole Foods or not, because they're like astronomical in prices. And you were to buy 12 juices, that will cost you almost £55, because they're never like £4, they're like £4.50 or £5.69 or whatever it is. And so in my juices, I've put matcha powder, I've put maca root, I've put iodine liquid. So I think it's really important, if you know what you're making, you can also make it into a healthy lifestyle. That's my little 2 pence to everyone. But welcome to the core. I am the Millennial Coach. So I've just finished eating salmon and broccoli and asparagus. So forgive me. Right, so we're talking about, I've been talking about toxic positivity yesterday, but today I want to talk about how to count your blessings. Last month, or the month before, September, my friend's secretary had highlighted to her that she was diagnosed with cancer. It was absolutely heartbreaking to find out just 2 days ago she passed away. Literally 6 to 8 weeks. I think we have got to start really valuing the space, time, and reality we're in, rather than trying to forge all the time into a new reality. Yes, people want to be successful. Yes, people want to move beyond where they are and see change and grow and do all these things. But what we're not doing is looking at what you as an individual, have you ever sat down and looked at your life and said, actually, I've done pretty good so far? I don't think people take the time to do that. A lot of you, listen, getting up in the morning is an achievement in itself. Some people didn't wake up today. We are very, very blessed. Those of you that even have the opportunity to watch this show, you can even afford data on your phone. Abundance comes in many forms. It's not just in the big stuff. Oh, I've got 30 grand or 50 grand or 200 grand or 5 mil in the bank. Are you loved? Do you have hot water? Do you have genuine friends in your life? Do you have a place that you go to work that you actually enjoy working, and the job that you're doing, do you actually enjoy doing it? Do you sleep in a warm bed at night? Do you have access to food? Our lack of gratitude comes up all the time, and we are so embedded in the external that we don't even give thanks that we are functioning 100%. Even with my chronic diseases or chronic illnesses or whatever you want to call them, the fact that, okay, after the fact, I can actually go and do stuff. I can go for a long drive. As I said, I can go to Brighton, I can get in the car and go to the beach. And it's actually quite nice when you go when it's colder, you wrap up, you sit and you just sit by the water. I can actually afford to buy petrol. I can call a friend if I feel like I need to have a chat. So when we complain and complain and complain, that takes us into a downward spiral. And a lot of the time, our complaints are an indication that we are not doing the work to get to where we want to get to. That's what a complaint means to me. So a complaint in the workplace means the person is willing to do the extra mile, but they're not being valued or seen. That's why a complaint exists. It's not because people complain because they're crazy. So when you're complaining, you need to find the gift in the complaint. Why am I making such a fuss about X? And if you want something to be a certain way, do you have the power to make the transitional change for that thing to be different? And what we don't always look at is how do we transform ourselves in the midst of the change and count the blessing that we can actually transform. One of the things, I'm going to use even the cold sore as an example. I am going to heal from this. This is how magnificent the human body is. I remember, but I know you can't see it, right? Well, you probably can. If you can can you see like a dark scar on my wrist? Right. So I ended up in A&E. The entire hand, a hot boiling water fell on my hand. When I got to the hospital, with burns, they see you straight away in London, in the UK. Straight away. They don't hesitate to wait. My hand, the skin just went, whoop, just looked like bubbles. And you could just pop it. So I had bubbles all around my wrist, all here. And I'm actually going to play some pictures right now for you to see of my hand. So you saw my hand, right? It wasn't a pretty sight. And then I showed you the iterations of how it healed. Now, what I was grateful for, I asked my dad to come to the hospital with me. He came, he forgot his teeth. Not my fault. But I had somebody that loved me that came to the hospital. I drove there because I was refusing to get an Uber and I refused to park in the hospital because in the local hospital, imagine you're about to die and then they're asking you to pay for parking. So that's not really a blessing. That to me is counterproductive. To all hospitals that actually ask you to pay for parking is actually quite disturbing. But they saw me straight away. The doctor actually gave him a shout out on Twitter and his team. He was so kind. Now, the reason I'm just talking about this small thing, there are people that don't even get medical attention. We go to work, we complain. If you don't like where you're working, it's down to you to make changes. If you don't like your weight, it's down to you to make changes. If you don't like your living conditions, it's down to you to make changes. What we're not going to do is judge people for the choices that they make. We don't look at our life as a blessing. I think a lot of us look at our life of how far can we push things to the boundary till we crack and then we'll fix it. So when we hear the song, blessings on me, them tunes there, yeah. Or, that guy, Victor. For your life. That song, I can't even remember the song. This year, blessings, testimony, follow, that tune, right? I know I'm not doing a good job, Don't forget, I haven't been well, so I can't even drop my Beyonce today. I can't drop my, and I know some of you are upset. Like, I know some of you are upset, yeah, that I'm not giving you crazy in love, but just take what you're given, okay? But for real, we have got to get out of the complaint mode. And to tell you why, because it actually makes you feel like you're mad. Have you ever complained so much where you think, I don't even feel well. I don't even feel well because all I'm doing is whinging about X. And so that's another thing for me, is knowing that when I'm coaching people and they're complaining, what they're telling me is that they want to be better than they are, but they don't know how. That's all that tells me. But for me, as someone who is a coach, and if I start complaining, I have to ask myself, why do I care so much, and what can I do to change it? So this is not going to be a long video today, but I just want you to really, really think about your blessings. Like, really. Because in the UK, me personally, I think that British people, to a degree, because if you're not working, I'm not suggesting that job seekers allowance and what's them things? Universal credit and all that is an amazing amount to live off. But some countries, if you haven't got any work, you ain't got no money. In the UK, you get even your house, if you're renting, you get your house paid for. You get job seekers allowance. You might have a bundle of friends that will come together and put money together and look after you. There's a lot of people that don't have that. And loneliness is one of the biggest forms of death that people experience. And I even said to my mum, living alone, as much as it's a really positive thing, I didn't enjoy it. At one stage, right, I said to myself, when I go back to London, I want to live, but I want to live with somebody in the house, because I realized that if I fell on a knife in the house, or I died in my house and I live alone, and sometimes I don't always want to respond to people. Some people respect your privacy. You'll be privately dead for about a week. So this is what I'm saying, like, everybody's circumstances and how they're showing up in their life, every one of us. Let's stop complaining. Let's find the gold in it. If you've got a partner that goes to the ends of the earth for you and you are ungrateful, there's a lot of men, my sister-in-law's female friends, right? Quite a few of them, about 5 of them. There was one year, it was exodus of their husbands. They just all got rid of them. Because the men that they had married were just too complacent. The women were doing everything. So what was the point of having somebody who's not actually contributing to the home? Even the money you're contributing is not even necessary anymore. It's not that the person even wants the money. It's just that the money doesn't substitute the active involvement in your family. You have to be actively participating to be valued. If you're in a relationship, a friendship, you've got to be actively making calls to people, messaging them. So when people don't reach out to me, after a while, I just delete their details, because we don't have an active relationship. And also, I'm questioning, where's the value in this friendship for me? Because I know I'm a value to a lot of people, but the question that you have, especially if you're somebody who's empathetic and you're a helper and you believe in servant leadership like I do, I'm only now going to be a servant to those that will appreciate it. And the moment you don't appreciate it, it just disappears. If you disrespect me, I disappear. So you have to really even know that you yourself are a blessing to yourself. Know that you're a blessing to yourself. It's not by accident that you're watching today's show. We are drawn to things that embody us. We are drawn to things that empower us. So this is why I always keep saying, please like, share, and subscribe. Let this community grow of truth tellers. Let the community grow for people who are constantly trying and aiming for the stars, but with a pure heart. My kindness is not a strategy. Therefore, anybody that wants to come for something I say, do on and off camera, you have got to go. And it's nothing to do with, oh, you don't like confrontation. Trust me. I don't mind a little bit of confrontation. Those of you know that I will come for you and I will switch up on people. But that's not a way of life that I think elevates me as a person. Who wants to be constantly confrontational? That's why I like Love and Hip Hop. I need to go and coach on Love and Hip Hop, because confrontation to me is the last result, like the last result. And the thing is, when people don't like you, they're always going to have a problem with you. So you just got to just distance. Take yourself over there. And you don't owe anybody an explanation for you counting your blessings of peace. You don't owe somebody an explanation why they're difficult. They're difficult, move. The amount of people I've had to sideline because to me, they appear inauthentic, or they're just not good friends, or I don't, at the age I'm not here to explain to you as another adult how to behave. You need to match me as your friend, or let's not match in anything at all. And I'm straight. Because life is short and my life is a blessing. And I'm a blessing to my family as my family are a blessing to me. So I can't let someone come and shake the foundation. Nor can you. So one thing I'm going to leave you with is keep waking up knowing that you are a blessing. Your life is a blessing. Who you are in contact with is a blessing. And who isn't a blessing to you, you need to recategorize them in your life. You can distance yourself or you can disassociate. You discern what that is for you in terms of the relationships that you have, the workplaces that you are accustomed to working in. Because ultimately, you are the only person responsible for you. So don't be relying on other people to manage you, manage your expectations. You got to do that. You got to put remember, life is about having requirements, not expectations. Expectations of people that are going to sit there and wait. Requirements for people that put things in place and see things executed. So, how are you going to wake up tomorrow, and how are you going to leave today's conversation? And who are you going to literally reach out and tell them that they're dope and you love them? Because let's give people their flowers while they're here. Let's not wait till they're literally about to drop dead and then tell them that they're dope. Like I tell my dad that one time, I said, Dad, you know you're one of my best friends. I've got quite a few best friends. I said, you're one of my dopest best friends because we can just talk about anything and everything. So don't, and yeah, my mum is alive, just so FYI, right? And she's cool, but I'm a daddy's girl. I'm not going to sit here and make out like we don't have a special bond. We do. And I'm so grateful for it. And that's the reason I believe my life is a blessing, because I can't let a man come into my life who's not remotely as kind or respectful or honorable as my dad. That's how much I love myself, because I've never been around men in my family who have mistreated or disrespected me. Never. So it's very hard for me when men are inconsistent, men don't tell the truth, men, because if once you start acting like that, I just actually, you know, when people message you, you just leave the message for 3 days and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Because it's not normal to me. Poor behavior for men, and men that don't communicate, that's also not normal to me. I don't come from that. Like, me and my brother can have an argument within 48 hours. My dad taught us from we were kids, we got to fix that. We will have a phone call and then we'll talk about why we were both upset. The last time we had a fight, I think I was in Manchester, and I remember I was driving, I was near Trafford, Old Trafford, right? And me and my brother had a disagreement, and he told me that I offended him. And I said, but you took the information the wrong way. I didn't mean it in the way I did. Do you get what I mean? That you received it. And we just both apologized and we moved on. We don't, because the thing is, you can have, when you're blessed, yeah, and you understand the people in your life who are a blessing, you can have such a harmonious conversation about such a horrible topic that has upset both of you. Like, you can talk like this. You don't have to be like, yeah, but why you there? You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all of that. Hence the reason I'm great at conflict resolution. But there's people that I don't believe that I don't even feel they deserve to have any resolution with me. Not because I think I'm better than them. I don't have the space for that type of behavior in my life anymore. So when you start realizing how blessed you truly are, you're only going to give space for people that can continuously help you be blessed. And I'm not talking about people buying you things. It's because somebody that sorry that I'm doing this with my nose. Remember I told you in the last episode, my nose is just feeling a little bit, with the Sjogren's. But it's like somebody called me from Ghana. I haven't spoken to him in, I don't know, 7-8 months, because we spoke. And when you talk to somebody, you're thinking, God, I'm so blessed to have him in my life. My darling Echo. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. Like, we always pick up where we left off. And we've got a nickname for each other. So in our language, tree, and if you don't know where tree's from, it's Ghanaian. So when you are a greedy person, because me, I like food, so I'm greedy, right? So back in the day when we used to roll together all the time, so he's like one of my closest friends. And we used to call each other Didi. So that's our nickname. So when I picked him, I'm like, Didi. He's like, Didi. So this is the thing. This is the way we talk to each other. We talk to each other with love, because we know me and him, we both used to love food. So my mum used to cook a lot when I used to come from the Middle East, when I come for breaks. And then me and X and my cousin and another friend, we were all just chill. We always used to watch Coming to America. Always used to watch Coming to America when I came back from the Middle East. I don't know why, but we'd have loads of food. So me and him, when we talk, we just have so much joy and love in our hearts. I can't even explain it. And that's what I'm talking about, that kind of blessing. That kind of blessing is just untouched. Because anytime we talk, the energy is lifted. It could be you're having the worst day. You could have the worst day and we could talk to each other. And the way we lift each other up, that's why I really am a proponent of love. Like, I just feel that's the only way we can survive this world that we're living in, where everyone's about self. You've got to start loving each other a little bit more and loving yourself a little bit more too. So I am the Millennial Coach, and I hope it's been a good episode on counting your blessings. Please like, share, and subscribe. Keep this channel going. Let's get the information out there. Let's help each other. Let's make sure that we lift each other up, because I tell you something, one of the things for me this year is that I've seen a community of people just coming for me in the most positive way and lifting me up. So I just want to send that out to everyone watching. Thank you. Peace.